Alright guys, RoKage here and welcome back to the brand new video. Here we are, so leveling a rise will be the topic. On today's video, it is time that I do the updated version for the Blessing Stones tier list. Definitely some things have changed. Definitely for some blessing stones that I initially thought they are trash, they're actually insanely good and useful. I'll explain everything, and maybe some of the blessing stones before I thought they're extremely broken, now they're not so broken, and so on and so on and so on. This will be my personal opinion based off my experience playing solo leveling Arise. Definitely when you disagree with something, put your own input, put a one sentence comment explaining why you disagree or why do you agree, etc. So next time we can do even better tier list, because I want to definitely consider community's opinion. Before we start, make sure to support me in content creator program. As soon as I upload this video, I will give away the codes to my latest supporters, so 1,500 free essence and more, plus more codes are incoming, so make sure to support right here so you don't miss it. Like this, you will have 100% chance to get all the codes, because I get 4,000 of those, so no worries. Massive shout out to my top supporters. The links are in my description below and as a pinned comment. So let me start. Bloodlust. Okay, for me, this is the most one of the most useful and the most craziest blessing stones for the Sung Jinwoo. When you are hit, it decreases your attacker's attack by 12%. And especially this, when you attack, it decreases your target defense by 12%. Now, for now, okay, this is the legendary rarity of the blessing stones. When you have lower rarities, you will have lower percentage, but that still doesn't mean that Bloodlust is not an SS in my eyes. It is definitely in SS in like all rarity form. So yeah, I'm definitely liking this and I've been using it a lot. Definitely helps. Okay, and I believe many of you would agree. Okay, so that will go to the SS tier. Now we have this. Even though Kasaka steel scales, your damage taken decreased by 15%, increases receive shield effect by 15%. Now overall this will give you survivability. Maybe I'll put it now into A tier, because these days, believe it or not, Sung Jinwoo really needs that more survivability, and sometimes that Kasaka still scales when you have enough time, when you're already providing enough of DPS, damage per second, right? You will need survivability. You know, if you're fine with the damage and you cannot survive because you don't have enough of HP or you don't have enough of damage reduction, this will help you a ton, especially when it gets to the highest rarity legendary. But I still wouldn't call it broken. Maybe A tier for now, just because really these days, especially when you use Sung as a support, which is an often practice these days in guild bosses, against the guild boss, in Power of Destruction, a lot of people are using Sung Jinwoo as a support, and if you need survivability, this will be really helpful. Now, between A and B, I will decide. I still didn't decide to the fullest. Now, let's check out this one. For some reason, I still didn't completely test it out. You will be trapped in chains of blood. Your attack damage increases equal to 30% of your lost HP ratio, but your damage taken also increased by 10%. That's a big damage increase, guys. That's a big damage increase. Definitely of your lost HP ratio. So this is really good in the strategies when you know you're gonna lose pretty decent amount of HP, and that will produce bigger damage, but it will be more riskier fight because your damage taken will increase. Well, I don't know, really close to the SS, maybe even SS, because it provides a really crazy buff. Between S and SS, because again, you need to lose your HP ratio to get, but that's a nice buff, and you're gonna lose the HP ratio. So yeah, for now SS, but I might change my mind. But really nice Blessing Stone overall. I believe I still have it. Not sure, do I have it? Legend? No, I don't have it legendary, but heroic. Yeah, I believe I don't even have it heroic. I believe so. Yeah, that's why I didn't use it so much. Okay, now. Still a really nice buff with the DPS, exactly what Sung loves. Let me go to the Swiftness now. Swiftness will give you the dash. You can now dash one additional time. There is 30% chance for your dash cooldown to reset upon dashing. Guys, in my eyes, this is actually a super broken Blessing Stone. I have it at Legendary, and when you're using Demon Plum Flower Sword, which is extremely oftenly, I just love this, and this will give you more dashes, more overall, bigger damage at the end of the day, especially when you need to use a lot of shadow stabs. This is one of the most crucial, and just like makes your life so much easier when you have it, especially legendary. So yeah, I love it, so I'm putting it into the S tier. Okay, the next one will be this one. I believe it's Demon Slayer, if I'm not yeah. You have obtained the title. Okay, your total MP increased by 1200. You'll recover 5 of your MP every second. Don't get me wrong, amazing Blessing Stone when you're running out of the MPs, mana power, sorry. And that can be extremely helpful. Although these days I don't use it anymore so oftenly. Before I was having problems with mana. Now with the right artifacts and substats, I don't have so much problems with mana. But still, I understand. If you need it, you're gonna use it, and definitely it will be extremely helpful. But still, A tier, I wouldn't put it higher than that, honestly. Then we have the armor break. I call it at least like that, but it's called Pulverize. The power of the break effects you apply to your enemies increased by 30%. The damage you deal to the targets affected by the break effect increases by 30%. So that's a massive damage up pretty much after the break effect. And as well, you will have higher breakage capabilities. And when you need to break someone and do bigger damage, this is one of the craziest Blessing Stones to go for. So maybe even S tier, but still I want to put it in the SS. There is a lot of highly valuable Blessing Stones in my eyes. Double-edged sword, I don't know, in my eyes, when your attacks hit, your attack increases by 4% for 10 seconds, but the attack of the target you hit also increase. Okay, double-edged sword, right? But still, this is a pretty nice buff right here. This is a pretty nice buff, 4% of your attack, just like that, especially when you have it high rarity. I'll put it like this. Also, I love this one. I have it legendary, and it worked like a charm. Definitely makes my Sung explode. When attacking an enemy who has 70% or less of their HP, which you will get there relatively quickly in most cases, the damage you deal increases by 14%, and I have it legendary. That's a pretty insane buff. Now this one can go into A or S. Definitely in certain setups, this can go pretty wild, and I believe I will even put it at S. This is something that last time I definitely underrated. Every time your HP decreases by 25, your attack, defense, and HP increases by 3%, and it can stack up 3 times. So that can get up to 9% attack, defense, and HP increase. That's pretty huge, gives you the survivability, and if you have the setup where you constantly lose that HP, then heal up, and everything else with the right setup, this can work pretty well. While we added last time I underrated this one as well. HP extraction. As the Monarch of Shadows, you can use your abilities to extract HP from your enemies. For example, when you're facing multiple enemies at the same time, especially if they're elite or hard monsters, this will be one of the go-to blessing stone, which will help you with survivability, and you will the raids, the the stages, for example, Battlefield of Chaos will be much more easier to do. Also, the Chapter 18, if I'm not mistaken, we have Shadow Time or something like that. That's pretty tough, but with this, it makes your life so much easier. You will recover 0.8% of your HP when defeating an enemy. You will recover 2% of your HP when hitting elite or higher monsters. It can really help you out with survivability, and I would even put it like really high A to S, like somewhere around that, but mainly I will put it in S tier, guys. I don't know, I fall in love in this blessing stone, and it helped me so much, so I'm putting it in the S tier, especially when you face that multiple enemies. It will be crazy good and broken for that purpose. Okay, now let's move on. We have Tenacity. The damage you take will decrease and your defense will increase when your HP is 30% or less. This is something you're gonna use oftenly. I wouldn't go beyond A, but this is something you're gonna use when you know your HP will go really fast down and when you need that additional few more seconds of life and you finish it. But still, I find this HP extraction even more important overall. Let's move on. We have now this part. This is with Fatal Strike. Your target's break gauge instantly decrease by 2 when you land a critical hit, like 2%. I don't know. I don't use it so much. It wasn't so much helpful for me, honestly, and I'll put it B. Maybe I'm wrong. Please tell me if someone did test this out. But I just believe Pulverize is more than enough to have for this. And plus we have the artifacts to increase our breakage capabilities. I don't know, maybe sometimes usable. Now we have the Reawakening. Your skill cooldown will decrease by 8%. Of course, it will be higher and higher as your rarity increases. So importance also increases. This is something that I would put at somewhere at top S tier, or maybe even SS tier. But for now, S tier, because I find that for the damage, this SS tier is so important for Sung because he always needs that help with the DPS. But this one, when you use Sung as a support, or when you want to use a lot of skills frequently, this can be extremely helpful and it's extremely OP at the end of the day, but still not the SS tier, at least in my eyes currently. Then we have this part where buffs Monarch's domain. Shadow attack within domain increased by 100%. The shadow also deals damage equal to 100% of the value of your attack every second. This is when you want your shadow to completely explode. I wouldn't put it in the S tier, but definitely A tier, where you're gonna use it in those certain cases where you want that your shadows explode, where maybe you're relying more on the shadows. So that's how I see it. We have this one, which is Kandiaru's Blessing. Maximum HP increases by 16%. I don't know, guys. I just don't use this. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, when you need survivability, but pretty much Sung Jinwoo scales from attack. Okay, so I don't know. I don't find this too useful, honestly. This one can go easily into SS tier as well. It produces damage on another level. The only problem is when your attack increases by 9. I have it legendary, so it's 16, but your skill mana consumption will also increase by 12, which is not that bad after the certain buff that was applied to Mana Rampage, and I absolutely love it, and it goes into SS tier. I have a lot of SS tier, but that's how I see it. This one is really good for the Shadow Step and providing even bigger damage. I still don't find it SS because it's pretty situational. You have to use it for the shadow step or being in the back, or yeah, being you have to be behind of your enemy, do the back attack, right? But still really nice buff overall, not gonna lie. When you actually manage to do this properly, it can provide a really nice buff of attack, back attack damage increase. So yeah, pretty useful, but I cannot put it into the SS tier. This one, overall S tier, I just don't use it that much anymore so frequently. Your damage dealt to bosses increased by 20. Now when it's legendary, it's pretty juicy, but the cooldown of your dash increases by 20. I hate that dash cooldown increase. That's a pretty high increase. So maybe for that reason, but at the end of the day, Boss Slayer is pretty broken, and that's why it's in the S tier, on pretty much top, let me say it like this. Okay, this one is pretty good, maybe even somewhere around this, I don't know, S to SS tier. Really hard to say, like it depends on so many situations. Tomorrow when I would wake up, I would maybe do something different slightly. But that's basically it. Your damage dealt to targets that have elemental weakness increased by 20%. That's also pretty huge, and it's literally, yeah, I'll put it here on in the SS, because you will get that damage decrease and that's it. There is no increased cooldowns or anything like that, and in most cases you will be fighting against the element weakness, right? Okay, C tier, I'll put this one. Even after the buff, I don't find this too much useful, except fighting against normal monsters. That's it. How useful it can be? Yes, it can be sometimes, but I just don't use it. I just cannot be like, I cannot put it higher. Like, no. This one is really good. I'll put it in the A tier, especially when I use West Wind for the crits. That's pretty nice. Your critical hit rate will increase by 3% for 8 seconds when your attack hits, stacking up to 6 times. Especially if you're missing some critical rate up, this can be extremely helpful. Not SS tier overall, but definitely S tier. And now we have 3 more Blessing Stones. I have a feeling something is missing. Yeah, I didn't put all of them. Okay, I will add. I will double check, and then I believe I have 1 or 2 more to add. Anyways, let's just finish this. Then we're gonna. I didn't put this one, or this one. Yeah, I didn't put few. Okay, I'll add them in a moment. Let me go camouflage. When you receive damage exceeding 5% of your max HP, you camouflage for 3 seconds and recover 3% of your HP every 1 second. I just don't use this. Tell me, maybe I'm missing something here. I just don't use it. And now we have 2 new Blessing Stones. We are 1, honestly. In the guild boss easy SS, yeah, like look at this. Your abilities are enhanced when there are support hunters who share an element. If there are 2 support hunters with the same element on the team, it increases Sung Jinwoo and the support hunter attack, defense, and HP by 2.5. If there are 3 support hunters with the same element on the team, it increases Sung Jinwoo and the support hunter's attack, defense, and HP for additional 2.5. And that's only rare. I don't know. I honestly... 1 second. Yeah, it's 5. Oh, that's pretty huge. It can go up to 10% if you have the right setup. I don't know. This is pretty much buffing your whole team if you have the right setup. I don't know. In my eyes, that's pretty broken. Don't watch the order here. I won't go in exact order, but just look at the tier. I won't... there is no point of doing that because it's pretty situational. Okay, and now we have the Swift Strike. When you use Extreme Evasion successfully, your damage increases by 16% for 5 seconds. That's legendary. You need to use Extreme Evasion successfully, so there is condition, but that's pretty nice buff. Like Swift Strike, if you use it with the Swiftness, You will do a lot of extreme evasions without any issue. Definitely extremely useful when you're fighting an opponent who will do a lot of attacks back to back. And the buff is for 5 seconds. So that's pretty nice. Cooldown is 10 seconds. I don't know. For now, I did test it out. I don't know. I just didn't find it so much impressive yet. But definitely an S tier. It can go there. Okay, it can go there because extreme evasions you're gonna use a lot. But it's pretty conditioned, so that's why S tier. But at the end of the day, it provides the buff. So I don't know, guys. This is it. Let me just add these 2 more things, 2 more blessing stones, and end the video. Okay, we have 2 more. One of them I see people rating really high, but I just don't find this useful because I never go into the fight and be like, okay, I'm gonna die once. No, I never go like that. But still can be useful in those certain situations when a monster summons a statue and you know for a fact you won't be able to beat it in time and it does a massive damage, it one-shots you, so it can help you out to avoid this type of situations. But that's like the only thing I consider using this. At the end of the day, super important for the early game, but later on I just don't use it. But still okay, B tier. And then also the thing that I don't use, your speed will increase by 8, your dash cooldown will decrease by 8. Can be useful, I just don't use it so much. I find it in the B tier for now, maybe A tier sometimes. Really good with the swiftness and everything else, but at the end of the day, swiftness is all I need. I don't need this. So yeah. Okay guys, I'm pretty happy. This is my current take on the blessing stones after the update and everything else. Again, I repeat, just look at the tier. They're not in the order, okay? They're just like in the tier, that's all, okay? So if I put Bloodlust on the top, that doesn't mean this is the best blessing stone in the game. Keep that in mind. It really doesn't matter where they stand. But that's it. Hope you did enjoy it. Leave a like, subscribe. Maybe I should have put an A+ tier to divide few things right here. But at the end of the day, it really depends on situation. What do you have? But definitely SS and S are the most useful and the things that I use the most and can be most effective. That's it, guys. Love you. I hope you did enjoy it. Leave a like, subscribe. Make sure to support me in content creator program. Road to 800 supporters. Let's get it. When I upload this video, I'm sending the codes. Bye, guys. Love ya.